All right, so I want to talk about subtle energy, and I want to start off with a quote. So the quote is, "Everything has two sides, the outside that is ridiculous and the inside that is solemn." So let that kind of sink into your being. And what kind of imagery or information do you detect from that quote? And I want to bring that all the way back around in terms of subtle energy. So, what is subtle energy? Subtle energy is what presents to us when we are able to fully listen to all of the energy in our body. And when I talk about sensing, I don't necessarily mean feelings and emotion, even though it is really cool as a human that we are able to experience feelings and emotion, because in higher realms, emotion is not part of the deal. So it is a distinct pleasure to be a human and to experience human emotion. But as I'm talking about subtle energy and feeling and detecting with our subtle energy, things can happen like this. Someone says something to you, whether with their words spoken or written. And even though it may look on the outside like what they're saying makes sense, you're detecting a mismatch in the energy because you're detecting it through your subtle energy field. And this is how a lot of times we have almost gotten to a point where we have distrusted ourselves because maybe we asked an outside party, does this, response seem passive aggressive? Or it's almost like you can sense what is really being said, and maybe the person who is saying it doesn't even have their subtle receptors in tune as well as you do, to the point where you're picking up a whole lot of other information that's very incongruent with what has actually been written or spoken. So this is something that I'd like for us to all focus on. So we all have our light and our shadow sides, and I think there's a lot of confusion out there from my perspective about integrating the shadow. And basically, when we navigate life, if we really want to get to the heart of it all, I guess you could say, the true meaning, at least from my perspective, it's to come from a place of wholeness, knowing that we are a part of everything that exists. And yes, balance is essential. So that means when we're very, very happy, guess what our shadow is feeling? The opposite. And vice versa. When we're very, very sad, guess what our shadow is feeling or sensing? But once we get to this place of neutrality, this is the point of coherence. So we can give others around us grace who are not yet where we are.